I am so excited for this spa day. Candles lit, music on, hot tub warm and ready. And then my chronic hives come back. Again, in the middle of my spa day. What a wet blanket. Looks like another spell of itchy red skin. If you have chronic spontaneous urticaria, or CSU, there is a different treatment option. Hives during my next spa day? Not if I can help it. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Trucking is a big job, so Progressive is proud to offer truckers the coverage they need and discounts to help them save. Quote truck insurance in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
The Eagles made a trade on Wednesday afternoon, and it involved one of their wide receivers. Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, covering news, notes, and opinions on your favorite football team right here on the Eagles Pinpool Podcast Network. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can also find me hosting Trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. live. 90 minutes of sports talk, taking your thoughts and opinions. Make sure you check it out. I got Thursday's episode linked below, along with some other things. Guys, the Eagles on Wednesday announced the trade for Michael Carter II, cornerback from the New York Jets, 26-year-old cornerback, 2021 fifth-round pick. The details of the trade: the Eagles receive Michael Carter II and their 2027 seventh-round pick. In exchange, the Eagles trade one of their wide receivers, just not the one you hear a lot of rumors about, John Mechie, and their 2027 sixth-round pick. John Mechie was brought in just before the start of the season when the Eagles traded Harrison Bryant, the tight end, in a fifth for him and a sixth in a pick flip there. So they've moved on from the former second-round wide receiver already, John Mechie, after he's had a handful of catches this season, returned a few kicks very poorly. So they move on from that mistake and bring in another cornerback in a position that has been an obvious struggle for the Eagles outside of Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. So what does this mean? Who is Michael Carter, and what does this mean for the Eagles secondary? First and foremost, Michael Carter, like I said, 2021 fifth rounder. He's 26 years old. He was willing to waive a $5 million injury guarantee on his contract for next year. He is under contract next year. He's got a 2027 year on his contract, but it's not guaranteed. So basically, you're getting him for 1 year after this as well. Per stats that I've read online, in his 5 years, he's played 64 games in the NFL, almost entirely at the slot, which we'll talk about in a second. He has only given up 3 touchdowns in those 5 years. He's only committed 8 penalties. He has only given up a quarterback rating of 78.2. He's got 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. The Eagles obviously have Joe Douglas, who was the Jets GM at the time, that knows him very well, that drafted him in-house right now. So they know what they're getting. But what they're getting is a slot corner. And if you listen to Vic Fangio speak on Tuesday, he sounded very against the idea of moving Cooper DeJean from the slot to the outside because he is such a good, nickel cornerback. And in Vic Fangio's scheme, you need a great slot corner that could tack the run game, can blitz off the edges there. Everything that Cooper DeJean does great is why he's the slot corner on this team. But does this signal them moving Cooper to the outside? And I don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure. When I was listening to Vic Fangio on Tuesday speak, and we didn't do a show yesterday, Eagles Checkdown, so didn't get to bring this up. It made me think of a question. Is Cooper DeJean one of the 3, 4, 5 most important players on this Eagles roster? At least one of the 2 or 3 most important on the defense. So what do we do? Are we going to move Michael Carter to the outside? Are we going to, which he's never played, or are you going to move Cooper DeJean out there? I think what they're doing, I think what the point of this trade is to just acquire more tech talent for a secondary that has obviously struggled. Mac McWilliams, their 5th-round draft pick, has not proven to be ready. Outside of injuries, he's been inactive most of the time. And Dory Jackson's hurt with a concussion, might not be back for a little while. Jacorian Bennett's been banged up and not been able to get on the field, who we traded a very important piece that we could use right now, and Thomas Booker for in the offseason. So this is one of those moves maybe to fix some, and obviously Keely Ringo is just terrible on the outside, and we lost out on Isaiah Rodgers in the offseason. So this is a trade, I think, to fix some of the mistakes made but I don't think it entirely means Cooper DeJean will be leaving the slot entirely. It gives the Eagles the opportunity to go into base formation a little bit more frequently. It gives them the option to slide him outside to shadow one of the more elite wide receivers on your opposing team. Still leaves him the opportunity to slide into the slot when necessary, and just gives Vic Fangio another option. I don't know if it necessarily means he'll be starting in the slot next week against the Green Bay Packers. It's just bringing some more flexibility to a position that has obviously been a major struggle. And again, you're getting rid of John Mechie, who, we did a pick swap for him, and that didn't work out either, for as great as Howie Roseman has been over the years and built multiple championship teams this past offseason, hasn't quite worked out. And outside of Drew Makuba and Jahad Campbell, none of his other draft picks this year have been able to see the field and get regular playing time. So this solves one of those things. And he's a veteran guy at 26 years old, very good at stopping the run, and he does a lot of things well. So, it's a good addition. And I've been very adamant in saying I do not want to move Cooper DeJean from the slot either, just like Vic Fangio, for the same reasons of Vic Fangio. This trade also, I had on Wednesday's Trending in the AM, I had Chris Franklin, which I also have linked below, just the interview with Chris Franklin from Wednesday. And, beat reporter for the NJ.com, Chris Franklin, said he doesn't see the Eagles making, or many teams, if any teams, making those big blockbuster trades at the trade deadline. There might be these kind of smaller trades, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks for depth pieces, but the big names, the Trey Hendricksons, the Max Crosbys, the Wards, the big names on defense most likely will not be traded at this trade deadline, which typically the NFL trade deadline, which is the 4th, next Wednesday, or next Tuesday is the 4th, is normally a letdown compared to the baseball and MLB and the NBA trade deadlines. So that is the big news there. And also, when Vic Fangio spoke on Tuesday, he talked about Reed Blankenship. Now he's having a good season. While people think he's not, he's dealing with a lot of rookies and a lot of issues in that secondary that's making people misevaluate maybe what kind of season Cooper DeJean's having, and also how important he is to the secondary. So it was really interesting to hear Vic Fangio speak so highly of Reed Blankenship, and then you see this trade to kind of improve the talent in that secondary. So that's something really there to take note. Obviously, since he was cut on Monday, Perry Nickerson was added back to the practice squad, the secondary piece, which was obviously expected, as I said, when that news broke. And NFL news, Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit Lions edge rusher, signed a 4-year, $180 million contract extension. It was announced on Wednesday, $141 million guaranteed. So that's a big payday there for Aiden Hutchinson there. Detroit investing in their young, talented player there. There's a lot more I want to get into this week, and we'll be talking about it on this show and also on Training the AM. The article in The Athletic about with A.J. Brown and his misunderstood situation right now. Obviously, the joke about him, the Eagles trading a wide receiver is not about A.J. Brown because A.J. Brown's not getting traded. But we'll talk about that on Training the AM and a little bit more on the Eagles Checkdown tomorrow on this show, plus whatever other news comes down the wire. But for now, guys, make sure you check out Trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network. Make sure you check out my Chris Franklin interview. Both those things are linked below. Make sure you subscribe and follow along. And make sure you're following all the Eagles Pinpool Podcast Network guys as well. All doing great work, guys. I'm Phil Stiefel. Everybody have a great day. Go Birds. And bubbles up.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Trucking is a big job, so Progressive is proud to offer truckers the coverage they need and discounts to help them save. Quote truck insurance in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.